Hi all, it's Kylie from Kylie's Cardcraft. Thanks for joining me again today. So, back to our 6x6 pad with, or 6.5 by 6.5 small paper pad with our pockets and our tucks and everything else. So this week what we're going to do is actually make our journal. Get all our signatures organised and learn how to sew them in, how to fix up the inside of your journal if you're using a book like I showed you last week. Ready to start popping in and working out how much paper we've got left and what we want to use it on. So I'm actually filming this after I filmed the other bit so that I can show you what it is that we're making. So as you saw last week, this was my journal cover. My signatures have been stitched in. I've got beads running up and down here now as well because I like the noise of that. And inside we've got 3 signatures sewn in. So we're going to go through all of that, sewing in our signatures, using our different types of paper and all the rest. We've got some fabric inside to hide our actual book, the inside piece of the spine. So that's what we're working on today. Hope you'll join me. Let's get into it. Okay, so going back to where we were last week, we'd picked our journal cover, okay, which was just an old book, and we had a few of our, hang on a moment when I find them, we had a few of our pockets and bits and pieces pre-made, okay, ready to be decorated, gone in. I finished that little notepad off with the other one. We had our envelope, we had that one, both in the little matchbook ones, and set those to the side. I've done a couple more during the week, not many, I know. All right, so I've just done a small slip pocket. Now this is just bits of old book page, one of the pieces of paper, bit more book page but a different one, so I've got 2 different types of text on there. Some of the butterflies I finally started cutting out, and I came across, and I've had them for ages and I forgot about them, and I realised I had them, and they were the oh, if I can undo them, the Ideology number strips. The ephemera pack, I bought them brand new. They came out in 2022, and I forgot that I had them. So I came across those, so I'm using those as well to use them up. So I've got one on that one. The other one I did was I just grabbed one of the pages, folded it in half, trimmed off a little bit, made a file tab there, and I just cut that freehand, that's all, and stamped the inside so that I can have that as an actual signature page. That was a quick and easy one. It'll still be decorated, probably. I used one of the, you know how I said my paper pad had, and I've still got it here somewhere, what's left of it, here we go, it had those border strip things that were in there. So I used one of those. You can see I've been practicing with different size corners and stitching bits and all the rest with this one. So I've used one of those, attached some book page to it again, this is me, and then popped some vintage lace that I've actually coffee dyed to make it even more grungier, and popped one of the little ephemera pieces on there, and I've got another side pocket to tuck things into. So I quite like doing that with these ones. The other one I did was I just got one of these pages, that one, and I folded it in half. Well, not quite in half. I folded it about there, okay? I stitched with my sewing machine, not by hand, too lazy for that. Stitched with my sewing machine all up here, then cut these on an angle, stitched around each one of these, folded them over, and what I've ended up with is this, ready to be decorated. So I've got 3 little pockets in here. Okay, now that can go into my pages as another pocket, as a top pocket, as a pocket this side. I'm still playing around with which way I want it to go, but that's a really good way to use up a sheet of your smaller pages. It's a great way to use them up. Right, so that's as far as I got. I know, bad, isn't it? That's as far as I got, but as I said before, what we're doing today is getting this journal organised so that we can start working out how many more pieces we need as big ephemera pieces, pockets, tucks, things like that. How many we can then use as journal cards, tags, and all the rest. So we've got a little bit in there. There's not that much left in this paper pad. Well, there's the cover actually, but I may end up using some of this, which is why I've kept the cover from the initial pad. So what I've done now is got a collection of paper. I've got a collection of all sorts of mess. Hang on. Move that one. I need that one. I need that one. There's one of those. We'll move that one there. I've got a collection of pages, all sorts of different ones. When I do a journal, very, very rarely do I just use, step back a bit. Very, very rarely, and I don't think I ever have, used just a digital kit. I will use digital kits, but I tend to pad them out with other papers as well. For me, I don't like the fully every page decorated look. I like lots of writing space and things like that. So even if I'm using a kit as some of the pages, I will still have lots of other papers and things in there. And I tend to use my kits for decoration. With this sort of one, no kit involved. I've just got a selection of all sorts of papers. So I've got envelopes. Look at this for a beautiful old vintage envelope. I've got, they are an envelope, but yeah, so I've already folded that in half. Offcuts. I've got some music pages, vintage music pages, paper bags. That's from, which would have been like the carbon copy part of a receipt book. That's then been coffee dyed. Listen to the crinkle. Love it. I've grabbed a selection of paper bags just so that I don't have to keep getting up and going over to where I have them. I've got other writing paper. I've got coffee dyed book pages, quite a few of those. And then I've got a selection of just plain copy paper that I have coffee dyed. I keep mine in these, you know, your good old magazine holders. So I have one that is just normal copy paper. I have one like this one, which is here, which has different types of paper or coffee dyed paper that's been splattered. It'll have deli paper in there that's been coffee dyed. And I've got another one that is just book pages that have been coffee dyed, so I can grab out whichever one I want at the time. To start with, we're going to use these and we're going to start working things out. I want 3 signatures in this. That's because I'm thinking this size will allow for 3 small signatures. I like 3s. You could probably get away with 2 with this size, but I quite like the 3 and I like them to sit up just a little bit. So we're going to see how that goes. We can always pull them out if we decide there's too many, and I will use them in a different one. Because I layer and stagger all my papers, doesn't make a difference too much with which journal it goes into. So to start with, I'll move those ones out of the way. I'm going to start folding some of these. I'm going to deal with some copy paper first and just pull these out. Now I know I can't go any further than the 4 inches, wasn't it? 4 3/4. See, I've still got my sizes written there. It's had a good life over the last week, but so 4 3/4 inches is about where I can go to. So I tend to just do this. Bit over 4 for that one. Fold it down. Grab my big ruler, and then I will just tear with that one. And I can't go over 7. So some of these I will make about 7. Some I'll make a little bit smaller, depending on what you want to do. Now, just because they're this size, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, And I use these offcuts for pockets and things like that. The back of journaling cards, again, so that you can journal on them. Okay, so something like that is going to fit in there nicely. And I'll have some layered further out, further in, etc. What we can also do, I'll grab this one. We'll go over about 4.5 this time, which will give me a little bit more. I'll go straight on that, just under 4.5. I'll see if I'm going straight. Some of mine are nice and straight, some aren't. But what I've got there is that. So I'm just, instead of tearing it this time, I'm going to fold this bit up. So that what that one will make is a fold out. Okay? And I can put a tab on there, I can put other things, so that'll fold out as I go. So that one will sit in like that. Again, I'm going to trim the top of that one back down to the 7 inches, or just under 7 for this one maybe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll go just a little bit low because I can. You can make them all the same size if you like. I tend to just have that difference going through them. So I'm just going to sit them over here and then we can work out which ones go in which signatures. This one we can do our normal size, but we can make a bottom pocket. That's 4.25. Let's go a little bit longer. I'll tear off this side, and what I'm going to do with this one, that's why whenever I'm reaching over for a piece of paper, coffee dyed paper here when I'm working, they're all these sorts of ones. So this one will sit in here nicely like that. I'm just going to open that back out again. I'm going to fold that up to make a pocket down here. There we go, just like that. So now that'll fold in there. And this time I've already got a ready-made pocket. I might put some lace on there, I might extend it up a little bit, but that's that one. For that, just to crease that down properly. So I've got a double fold in there, that's that one. We're just going to make a few of these just so that they're sitting here ready to go. What have I got size-wise for that? 4. Let's go over a little bit further. 4.5, bit more. Almost 4 3/4, which is my total size that I can have. Again, I'm going to make a fold over, making sure that that's nice and straight. Now, remembering, just because I'm folding them this way doesn't mean they're always going to be on that side. I can turn that way and have it going that way, okay? So don't freak that they're all the same section. So 7, we could make this one a little bit smaller again maybe. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to stick to the 7s with most of these because all of my other ones, like my paper bags and my writing paper and everything else, are slightly smaller. So I'm just going to go through and give me a section of these, ready for 3 signatures. That one doesn't need one. Straight down, a little bit under 7. That way it also, if they're a little bit smaller, it gives me room to put tags or lace hanging off them, things like that. So I'm not even worrying about measurements now, I'm just folding. Because I don't mind if they're layered, different sizes and all the rest, and I'm quite happy with that. I tend not to worry about sizes too much. I'll do a few and then after that I just guesstimate it all. So let's have a look. Here's a really light one. Oh no, this is one of these nice Japanese ones. So it'll need a bit trimmed off it. And actually I think I'm going to fold it up so that I get that on the bottom. So let's have a look. All right. Let's see what we've got left in that. 6.5, that's fine. Fold that back over, give that a good crease again. And this is why I have 2 bone folders, because one will be under the mess there and the other one I know is back in that. Right, so there's that one. I like these. Now I folded these in half to put them in my magazine rack. Size wise, they're going to give me quite a few sheets. So what I'm actually going to do is tear that at that one. Hold that about there. Let's have a look. I've got 4. I'm going to do another one of these half ones that I can flip out. I can always cut it off later on if I don't want it. Right, I really like these ones. These are just from an atlas, and it gave me all these wonderful. Did I actually have the right size there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Might be a little bit too big. No, he'll fit in at a push, so that's okay. All right, this one I know will need trimming off because he was quite large. I'm going to take him down to that one. Just to trim him up, make him a bit even. Those in there. And I'm wondering if I can take it to that. What's that one? 6.5. Happy with that. Take that down there so that I've just got writing. Took me a long time to just use book page as, I like that, as my backgrounds. It really did. But that's I love book page, don't get me wrong. Absolutely love book page. But I was so much of a plain background type of person that, yeah, took me a long time to get used to that. You're going to need to be trimmed. Let's have a look. That I use book page all the time, but I didn't use them as my full backgrounds. These days I'm finally doing that. Alright, so I've actually got book page here, and I like this one because it's given me still a lot of plain. So I would probably have a top piece hanging from this, again, because I don't use a lot of full bits. So let's have a look and see size wise. It's a bit over 7, or it is just about the entire width that I need. I'm going to need to trim a little bit off the sides. I'll go back to this because it'll stick out just a little bit too far. 4, 4.5. How about I go 4.5? Because this is an old book, if you can see that, if I sit this on the bottom of that, you'll see that it is quite off-centered. I don't know if you can. Can you see the line on it? It is quite off-centered, so trimming it up, and it is the wording that's off-centered. I'm going to take a little bit off the top there, so I can still see the name of the book. 6 3/4, happy with that. Happy with that. Let's have a look what else we've got here. Let's have a look at some of our paper bags, and most of these I should be able to just fold in half. Yep, that one's happy. That's that one. There's an offcut. That will just go straight in like that. That one's been folded. Envelope. I like this piece. So I don't want to use it as a folded envelope that way. I'm going to actually have my signature sewn down there so that I can still see this. That and it should be still fine. Width-wise, yep. That should have been, yes, that's that one. I'm hoping that one. And that's just folded in half. 7. I might need to trim a little bit off the length of that. Oh, it is just touch and go. I'm going to have to see. That's because it had been folded from another piece already. Otherwise, I would have folded it differently and used a fold over flip. Thinking I'm going to take it from that side because I really like the grunge down there. There we go. Right. Now, let's have, oh, that one's deli paper that's been pre-folded for a, what have we got lengthwise? I reckon it's too long. Yes. I like the torn look on this one. The rest of it is already torn. I like this grunge. I'm going to take it off there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm going to go just under. Let's start to have a look. Move all that to the side and see what we've got in signatures. If we're working on 3, not 2, 3 signatures. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. They don't all have to be the same. 1, 2, 3. That one, that one, that one, that one. I think I need 2 more pieces, don't I? I lost myself halfway through. What have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've only got 6 sheets. They need some more. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Well, let's have a look at what else I've got over here. I've got a little one here. Go in there, and I should have, I had some other bags. Oh, here, hang on. Let's go these. These are Coffee Dot invoices. So I've got lots of little ones, taller ones, but I like these. Listen to that. Right. Some of this will need to be trimmed, I reckon. Too nice to, that's got that, and I'm going to have it going sideways. Let's go that way. I'm going to just trim that off because I can use that on other things. Right, that's that one. I really like that. That's nice. So what have I got there? Let's go there. And I'm going to fold that bit over because I don't want to lose any of this scrummy invoice. Right, that's that one. So they've all got 6. Let's do a little bit more. Oh, I had that bit, didn't I? That'll look nice. 7. Let's go that one. 8. 7, 7, 7. How about we go some more envelopes that we can actually do from top. I've got a really big one here. Too big? I might have to glue some more onto that. Glue it down a little bit. That is a full size. So sideways, that will work, won't it? So let's do that. Right, so if I glue that down, we've got that. If I trim those sides, then I've got 2 side pockets, haven't I? I can put doobies in them. That will work. Not giving me much room. Okay. can work with that colour, so that's fine. Right, we'll use that to just lightly trim off a bit there. Yep, bit on this side. Right. That one works. Got no bits that are hanging out. That's always good. We don't want our bits to hang out. Fold that over. Crease that one down. And I'm thinking we might punch something in there, whether we've put something on there or not to start with. Right. We should have the same amount for each of them now. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm seeing which one he works on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And after all that, I didn't need it. I want it though. Which one do I want it in? They're all bigs, they're all bigs, they're all bigs. What have I got too many small ones of? Bigs. I got you. I'm going to take you out. I'll put you in and you in. Right, so let's start to put these guys together. Sorry if I just hit the microphone. I'm going to have that as my centre, I think. Now I can layer them and we can have a look. That way I can either have it down here or down here. I'm going to move it up. That way it'll get 2 holes in it. That one should be fine. That's that one. And that one. And that one. That's looking too wide, isn't it? That is too wide. I need to trim more off that. Let's see if this will go through all of it. Oh, just. That's better. That's better. Check I got that. See. There you go. That's what we don't want in there. So there's that one, and that one. And I like them all ins and outs. So that's one. I like the writing of that over top of that one. That one. Like so. Like so. And I'm going to have that little one in the front. Like that. We might go down for that one. Right, so we've got 1 and 2. And this one, what do we want in the middle? That one in the middle. And then I want a coffee dyed one. You go through this paper so quickly when you're doing 3 signatures or anything really. You think you've got oodles of paper. I want that one. Like that. I want that one. That one. And that one. Right. So technically this is what we've got now. That's fairly chunky without anything in it. Let's have a look and see how we're going. So it sits in my spine beautifully. It sits out nicely. It's going to sit up. For me, I like that. I like having gator mouth. It lifts it up. It does all that. I'm happy with that. So, to sew these in, what we're going to do is, now you can see with this, see how soft this is once this has been gutted. This is quite flimsy. So when it's sitting here, this all wants to curl in itself as well. What we're going to do is pop a very thin strip of chipboard or cardboard. Now I had a piece cut out. There it is. So when I'm doing this, what I've done is I've looked in here and gone, hang on, if I lift that up, I've looked in here and gone, it's a bit over an inch, but that's all the way in there, and I need it to bend up in here. So I've done this just under an inch. So 7/8 of an inch. Do it at a size, sit it in, have a look at it. If you need to trim more off, trim more off. So it will sit in here. I've still got to trim it down to length. But what it allows me to do is for that to still close, but it's given that a bit more firmness. Now, my cardboard is literally, here it is, out of a box of cans. Okay, so it's really, really thin, but it's just enough to give it a little bit of stability without it actually pushing more bulk in here to lift my signatures out. So I want to measure this so that it's at here and lined up with these ones. Just there and just there. I'm sewing my signatures all the way through my book. If I was doing a hidden spine, this would be my hidden spine, but I'd have it a little bit thicker for that one. And it will be sewn straight through. Otherwise it would have been, the signatures would have been sewn on this and then glued into there. But I'm not doing a hidden spine this time. I'm going to pop them straight in. Right, I just, trimming that off there, popping that in there. Right, this will fit in there beautifully, same size as all of that. That can be glued in. Now I could put paper on there, cover it up and all the rest. I like to put fabric on the inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue that in because I'm sewing all the way through, and then I'm just going to pop, here we go, just a little bit of, you know, I don't know, they're all just linens of a sort. I store all mine in colour, more or less, because I know the colours that I want to use, I just don't know the fabric. So, look, and some of these are old bank bags. They're lovely. They are absolutely lovely. So I will use one of these. So to start with, we're just going to sew. We're not going to sew anything. Wipe that. We're not going to sew anything. To start with, we're going to glue this one in. So what I'm going to do is use my fabric glue to start with because I find it's a little bit thicker. It's a little bit stronger. And I'm also going to put a strip of double-sided tape down the centre. My fabric will hold the rest down anyway, so I'm not overly concerned, but it gives me that peace of mind that I've got all of that going. I'm just going to tip that up. Once again, it's rather chilly. All right. Oh, and I want to really smear that, so what I'm going to do is get my glue book and I'm going to absolutely cover that. I'm going to try in this temp. It should start to come out. I know the other day I had problems with it. Oh, when I was doing those other pockets, the ones with the lace. So here we go. See, this is where you build up your muscles. Who said crafting's not exercise? My word. Oh, my hand strength is unbelievable. Yeah, right. We've all got glues like this. Yet, you know, a couple more months' time, I'll be whinging because it comes out too quick. We're just never happy. Some really big globs on there. Does it? Oh, it's not coming out quite as much as I'd like. Oh, there we go. Right. Oh, I'm going to leave that on its side. I'm going to pop that one in. And then we're going to pop our fabric. Now, if you want, before you pop fabric on there, you can stamp on your fabric. You can tie-dye it. You can do just about anything you like. All right, that's in there, and it looks fairly straight. Because you'll notice with this one, the paper, the inside cover, is further down on this side than it is on this side. I only want a little bit of fabric, or I might put a little bit more on this side, because I don't want to lose this. I can't get it up. I tried to get it up. I'm just going to rip it because I would have liked it sitting up here, but it's not going to happen. So I'm just going to give that a good push. Right, let's find some of this fabric. What have we got that's... See, something like this is too light because you can see all that through it. So he's a no-show. My backpack's quite nice, but he's a little bit lighter. That one's a bit heavier, but he... Let's have a look. No, hang on a moment. I've got a little piece here. That actually is the right length. I won't have to muck around too much. But I do want to rip a little. I want it ripped on both sides. So I'm going to rip it there. If I can. All right, not so much. Let's have a look. And about there. They always rip easier when you've got more on there. And I can trim up the top, so and have that bit down the bottom. And this one's going to be trimmed up the top. Less on that side, more on this side, because as I said before, I don't want to lose too much of that. Straighten that up a little bit. Go cornerwise. Happy with some of those, trim that off. And up here, we're going to trim off. Let's see if we can do it while it's still sitting there. Right. I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Let's get rid of some of those edge ones. That'll stretch down there. That I'm happy with. These will then sit in there like that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to glue this in. Then we're going to stitch these in. And we've got our journal ready. So that'll be week 2. Week 3, we'll get back on to filling it. And then week 4, I reckon, we'll do the cover. How's that for an idea? Okay. So I'm going to have to glue this. I'm going to wallop all my glue in here. I'll put a little bit on there. Sit that in, and then I reckon I will lift this up and put it all down there. That's the plan. My plan changes weekly, daily, whatever. This time, that's what I'm going to do. I'm trying to get glue off my fingers. How about we wind it the right way? While that's coming out, I'll put those scissors away. I'm just going to use one of the little silicone brushes. Set that on its side. Where is my silicone brush? One of these. And then I can spread it out. And I know I'll need to put a little bit more on there when my fabric is actually down, but this will be enough to hold my fabric to start with. Sit there, please. Don't put as much on that side. Like, I also don't want glue on the front of that. Right. Well, that's looking fairly good, and I can't see blotches of glue. Quite often if you're using fabric, you'll see blotches of glue. You've got to watch your fabric if you've got big blotches in there and you're putting them on. That's why I'll use that, to just spread them out. That will dry beautifully, so that's fine. Right, that's that one. This one, as I said before, will need a little bit more, so I'm going to pop. There you go, it's all sitting there. I'm going to pop that in. I will probably have a pocket in here anyway. Now I'll use this again, and we'll just pop this down like so. Okay. That'll straighten that out. There we go. And then the glue just peels straight off your silicone brush later on. Okay, there we go. That's nicely in there. I'm happy with that. And I'm happy with the colour that one was, so that was good. Fold all those out of the way, and we will sew these signatures in. Move that one back over there. Right, so to sew our signatures in, and I know a lot of you have seen me do it before, we need needle. I want my little pushy thing. I want my awls. And what am I going to sew them in with? All right, so a little bit of a break there for me, not for you. I have found my thread that I want to sew these in with, and it's a vintage wax thread. Love this colour. So I tend to just thread my needle and then just go off here without having to cut it and work it out measurements and all the rest. I have also done up my spare one of these. So it's just another little piece of that cardboard, and I've marked where I want my signatures sewn in, so as you can see that. So I've worked out my middle. So this is cut to the exact size of the top and the bottom of the paper. Okay, or the top and the bottom of the actual journal. So I've worked out my middle mark, and I've worked out where I want them top and bottom. I don't want them sewn in all the way at the top, so I always bring it down just a little bit. I've done a centre line, and then I've marked over just a little bit out from centre down here and on that side, so that this gives me my measurements for this journal. What I'll do to start with is each signature. Now with my signatures, once I find my paper clips, pull out a pile of paper clips. With my signatures, I'll undo the centre, and I'll pop some paper clips down here to hold those, down there to hold those ones. And now what I'll do is use this. It makes no difference which way around I've got it, because my top and my bottom are the same. I will sit this just in, giving myself an equal measurement top and bottom, and I will pierce straight through where this line is. So can you see where that line is? I'll pierce my centre, my crease, where that line is. Like so. All right, that's that one. And that one. And up here, hanging on to it, straight down there. I know it's hard for you to see when I've got them in like that, but believe me, that's what I'm doing. So I have my 3 holes marked in. Okay, So that's that one done. My next one, which is why I've got this down here, so it'll get done with both lots. So you'll see when this sits in, it'll be sewn in 2 spots. I'll grab some paper clips again for this one. Where's my centre? There. Right, one in there. Making sure everything's nice and straight, or as straight as it's going to be. Let's go there. They're held in. We'll do exactly the same again. So there you go. I didn't have him held in. I want him held in at least to start with, just so I haven't got anything flapping around. Popping this one back in. Yep, that one. I've got a couple of these floating around for different journals, so I've got to always make sure I've grabbed the right one. Alright, so straight into where that line is. And that line. And back up here for this line. Alright, that's those ones. And my last one, want that bit to go up a little bit. Right, finding my centrepiece, which I'm nowhere near. There it is. Right. Now, if you want to stamp these or stencil these or anything else, it's always wise to do them before you sew your signatures in. But for this one, I'm not stamping any of these. I'm going to rely on decoration. If I stamp, I don't want an all-over finish. And in saying that, so the only one I wanted an all-over finish for was that one, which we haven't actually put in yet, have we? We might just pop him in the centre of this one. Doesn't have to be an exact number, does it? Right, back to where we were. Now, let me just see if I can find that hole first. There it is. Alright, so I've got that one back in there now. Okay, as you were, I knew I had another piece to go in there before. Lining that up again so it's nice and even. And back down to this one. And up here to this one. Right. Sit you in that one so that you're held in slightly. And now what we're going to do is our actual journal cover. That's those ones, which needs to be done it the right way. Now, as I said before, this is plain on the other side, so it's not going to make much difference. But because I want that down there, I've got this little piece down here. I need to make sure it's up the right way. All right, I'm going to sit that in. Even it up. And I'm going to go there. These ones are a bit harder to get through because you're going through that cardboard and the spine. Right. Remembering your awl, if you're using an awl, is going to be larger than your needle anyway, so you don't need to go right round and, stir the pot as such. Now, I do need to move up for my little push mat. So, I'm probably only going in about that far. Can you see that? That's about all I need to go in. Right. This can be put aside if you're ever going to do one that's exactly the same size. You can see where my holes are just there, and you can see where they're out there. What I also want to do, which was why it was a little bit longer for me coming back, is I want to put some beads on the other side as I'm sewing. So now I need to work out which ones I want where. I think that one was going to be my centre one. I always sew in my centre one first. It just makes it a little bit easier. So, straight through my hole, straight through my centre hole. Now I'm having my knots on the inside. This is going to take a bit to get through most of these. Now that I've got that one in, what I want to do is some beads. I just want a few beads going up the top. So I've got a smaller bead, I've got a black bead, if I can find it, and I've checked all these that they go through my needle and onto this. So I just want something like that sitting in here. Okay, and I just want the three of them just for a little bit of something going on. Makes it a little bit harder to thread, but it's worth it in the end. So we're going to go back through our centre one, and then I'm going to work out where I need to go in my signature, because it's going to be hard, and if need be I will get my pliers out and maybe some more glasses. Right, so that's that one. So I can see where my beads are going to go. Okay, this one is going to go all the way down through here, like so, and into the bottom section of my journal down there. Oh, well, it's going to be tight. Tis. Look at that. I want that. What I should have done, no, I have the other two at the bottom, so that's fine. It's all right. As you were. Now, this one's going to need to go through there without taking the rest of my thread. Like so. Pull that bit out. Take him up there, and then I'm going to go back through those, and then I'm going to tighten it all back up. Okay, so we're going to go straight in there and hopefully come out the other side. What do you reckon? There it is. Beautiful. I want to come out of that side of that one. Like so. Oh. Alright, take my needle off. Like that. Now I'm going to tighten it all up. I want this to twang. I want these to twang. This one's going to be a little bit looser because of what it is. Tighten it as much as I can. Alright, tie that off. And at this stage I'm just going to leave them dangling once I tie them off, because I want to make sure I know exactly what it is that I want to do with it. I might want to put some little tabs on these in the inside. So when I trim this side off, I'm going to trim him around about the length of the signature as well. So that's one signature in, okay? And I want them to jiggle it a little bit. These, my next two, are going to be on these ones. Okay, so I'm going to go to this one. So you can see now, because I've got those beads, it won't sit flat as well. That's why I'm saying it makes it just a little bit harder. Alright, that one's going to go in there. There we go. That one's got quite a thickness to it. Alright, pull that one through. Going in here. One's nice and easy. This time I'm going straight into that one because I'm not putting my beads on the top. I'm going to the bottom. It's too far away for me to see. Right, bring that that one in. Found my thread. Going into this one. I know I'm doing it very cack-handed, aren't I? Oh, got them through. There it is. It's there. I knew it was there. Back down to our bottom one. Oh, the lights got really bad in here. Sorry. And now I'm useless. Sun's gone down while I've been filming, and when I got up a while ago to fix all these up, I closed the blinds, but I'm thinking I needed to put some more lights on. Maybe not for you guys. That looks really good on the screen still, but for me, it's yeah, not crash hot. All right, going through there. There's nothing for me like, like sewing signatures in. It just brings it all beautifully. All right, this is the one I want my beads on now. So I'm going to go from there. I'm going to go that one first, so that it's opposite to what it is up here. And that one. And then a little green one, a greeny blue colour to match my papers. Like that. Yep, happy with that. So back through this one again. And this is just a standard 3-hole pamphlet stitch, which is what I tend to do 99.999999999% of the time. All right, let's take you out. And now let's tighten all this up again. It's all right, I thought I'd sewn my signature in upside down. It was just one of those little moments. That's still quite loose. I can see where it's loose, so I need to tighten all those ones up. It's tighter. That one's tighter. Don't stretch them too much, otherwise you will tear your pages. So that's 2 in. Trim that one off. Right, so now we're getting to our third one. So what I'm going to actually do, take that one out, and put those ones together. Do the same with this one. Right, so I've got that. I've got this going on now here, and this one, which is our first signature, we'll have these down here again as well. Look, so we've now got our signatures sewn in. Trim that one. I can take off all of my paper clips. Move that. So, there's that one. I'm happy with that. And I like the fact that they move up and down. Look, there's a little bit of room. It's got a little bit of gaiter already, but I like a gaiter mouth. So here we go now. We've got all of these ready to go. I'm happy with that. Where's the second one start? There. Not too much of a gap down there, which I'm happy with. Lots of bits and pieces. Third one is there, good gap. And fourth, we'll see, that's where I like these ones. So something like that makes this little slip pocket there. So next week we will pop all those on, make some more. I came across this on my desk. And this was done from where we did the make your own rub-ons. And look at that. It doesn't need much more on it. So we'll have a play, we'll see. Thank you for sharing this with me, coming along for the journey, and until the meantime, happy crafting. See you next week, and we'll continue on. Thanks, guys. Bye.